What's up, peeps? I'm the Roleplay Gamer and I like to party. This is a bit of footage I recorded at PAX of the Master of Orion presentation. I do apologize for the poor sound quality. I fixed it up the best I can without going full music producer on it, but it is what it is. At least you can hear everyone speaking fairly clearly. So without any further gilding the lily and with no more ado, I give to you...
Randy King, the executive producer on Master of Orion, has travelled to us all the way from the Wargaming studio in Austin, Texas, just for PAX. Let's give him a round of applause. Welcome, Randy.
Hello, sir.
And he has got a man's handshake. I love that. Randy, good to be here.
Great to be here.
Yeah, I heard you absolutely kick ass in the theatre yesterday. Tell the people how many came to listen to you talk about Master of Orion.
So, you know that I am actually the executive producer on Master of Orion, and I went to one of the. I'm drawing a blank.
The main theatre.
Main theatre to give a presentation on Master of Orion, and before I came out onto the stage, I didn't know what to expect and how many people here loved that game. So I expected maybe 10, 20 people. There were over 600 people in that stadium. I went like this. So it was a thrill to show the game off.
Well, look, for those who are here today that weren't there yesterday, what is Master of Orion?
Yeah, so Master of Orion was actually released to the public in 1993. It was a PC-based game only. It was set in space. It was a turn-based strategy game. And to be honest with you, it was the first in that genre and has been coined the grandfather of all 4X strategy games.
4X strategy games.
Yes, sir.
4X. I'm going to stop you for a second. All the Aussies here hear you say 4X and think of a certain beer from Queensland. Or someone censoring out a swear word. Can you just elaborate what 4X is all about?
Okay, so Master of Orion actually it wasn't a reporter that actually coined that expression, and it caught on and became known as that type of genre. So it actually stands for, does anybody know? Give me one of them. Explore. So it's a space game. So you explore the galaxy by sending your ships out into space. Number 2. Exterminate's number 4.
He's getting serious straight away.
It's the best one.
Yes, it is.
Expand!
Expand. So, as you explore the galaxy, you'll find planets that are actually good for your race. And so you will colonize those planets and expand your empire. What's the next one? I heard it. Exploit from there. So as you colonize those planets, you're going to exploit those resources from that planet and also from space. That will expand your wealth of your empire. And last but not least, when you meet races in the game, some of them will be friendly, some of them will not be friendly, and you will have to exterminate them. And a lot of players actually like doing that. That portion of it, including me.
Nice. So it looks like we got a few fans.
Just a few.
Now, the people that are fans, though, they're going to remember the old game. And if they remember the box art, wow, talking about box art, they're going to remember it probably didn't have Wargaming written on the box at the time. How did you guys end up getting Master of Orion?
It's a wonderful question. So, I played Master of Orion. How many of you played it? Give me a raise of hands. Our CEO, Victor Kisley, played this in his youth. He contributes playing Master of Orion to the game that started him in his career. It's the game that influenced who he became. In fact, Victor loves turn-based strategy games. When Atari announced that they had this big auction and Master of Orion was coming up for sale, Victor had to have it. It was going to be his. So, of course, we purchased the rights of it, and then we started development on it. When we started development on it, he turned to us as a team, and in one of our conversations, he said that he wanted his kids and the world to experience the game that he fell in love with. Not much weight on our shoulders, is it? So we had to create a game that the old players would go, oh my gosh, yes, this is it. But also the new players would go, oh, this is fun. This is cool.
Well, the old players would remember the older game.
Yes.
And the features, because as we know, it's all about gameplay, isn't it, these days? It's about gameplay over everything. Some companies try to dazzle you with graphics, try to dazzle you, but we love good, solid gameplay, and that had it in spades. And what have you added to make this game even better?
So, today's players are going to expect beautiful graphics. So we created, you remember the old game, 2D graphics, engineer art, text, you had to read everything. Of course, we added beautiful 3D characters that will interface with you in the game. Their voices, their reactions, their mannerisms will change as you change your status with them. So if you're friends with them and you approach them in diplomacy, he's going to say, friend, it's been a while, what do you need? If I actually piss him off, he's going to say, what are you doing here? What do you want? If he's really angry, he may even say, get out of here. Several of the races will scream and yell at you. The Meershans, who are the cats, she'll actually hiss and growl and try to scratch your eyes out. So, as you play this game, the interaction with the different characters will really pull you in and it'll feel right to you. We've also upgraded the interface with beautiful and streamlined graphics. The old game was a spreadsheet, no doubt about it. So we've actually streamlined that interface for the new players so that they can understand it and play with it and enjoy it.
Now you said that Victor, the big boss,
yes,
this game came around because of him. That's how you got it. He's a big fan. Is there a little bit of, what do we do if we break this?
Yeah, that's a big one. So the key to this game is staying true to the original, to Master of Orion 1 and 2. So we played all those games. We played them over and over again. And in fact, everyone that's working on this game had to have a love for the game, or I made them play the game for several weeks. So if they wanted to be on it, they had to play the originals. So we then had to take that game and create it for the hardcore players first, so that we got it right. And then from there, we took and added in the neat graphics and the neat things that the new players will like. So the core stuff is all there. The ability to micromanage each colony, tell them what to do, change their emphasis when you need to. You go to war, I'm going to throw everybody in production and start pumping out some battleships. If I'm really keen in research, I'm going to keep a lot of my guys on the research pathway and try to crank out technology. But it's all there.
I guess we've talked about it enough. Let's see it.
Do you want to? Yeah! Twist my arm.
Crowd on in, folks. We can fit more in.
All right, so the original game, Master of Orion 1, had 10 races. So our version that we released will have the original 10 races from Master of Orion. Here's 8 of them. So there's the humans, there's the Alkari, here's the Darloks. The Darloks are shapeshifters. They are very mysterious. In fact, we don't even know what they look like, to be honest with you. Because of that, they can shapeshift into anything they want. Therefore, they're incredible at stealing technology. A vast spy network. The Barathi. The Barathi are fierce warriors. They have ships that are so difficult to defeat. They are ruthless. The Klakons. The Klakon is a bug race in which they all operate as a hive. The queen controls everything. Therefore, they are incredible with respect to production. The Meershans. Meershans are the cat race, and they are just like cats. They'll purr and be nice to you up front, but you turn your back on them and they'll change on a dime and they'll scratch you. So you have to be careful of them. Here's my favorite race, the Cylons. The Cylons are the brainiacs, the scientists of the galaxy. They are incredible with respect to technology and researching technology, and that's why I love them. Last but not least are the Sakra. The Sakra are a tribal race. They stick together and they're strong. They also reproduce very quickly, therefore they're great with expanding your empire. That is a benefit in many different ways. We're going to go in as the Sakra.
I'll see you guys there. I'm going to go to the panel.
Now, right now I'm showing you just a few parameters. We've got most of them turned off and hidden, but we will have multiple parameters for you to decide how you want to play this. You can choose whether you want to play the galaxy as a circle, spherical, cylindrical, and many others. You also can choose the age of your galaxy from new, old, and average. Sizes of the galaxy go from very small all the way up to huge. You can play against as many opponents or as few as you want. And then this last one is called a random seed. We've introduced this. In the original game, every time you went in and played the game, it randomized it for you, and you got something different every single time. But reproducing that was impossible unless you saved the game. We've generated a random seed. We call it the Big Bang Seed. And if you play the game and you love that version of it, you can actually give that seed to your friend and they can play the same game. All of the randomization of the planets are all the same. The random events are all the same. Now, that player may go in as a different race, may explore in a different direction, but the makeup is the same. But I'll give you a little tidbit information. Don't tell them where Orion is. So, the next thing you're going to see is an introductory video. I am not going to stay on it long due to time, but every race will have a small little introductory video that tells about the race itself, moving to space.
Multiplied in their underground caverns.
While this is going on, maybe you'll get to see it, because I'll tell you a little bit of tip information. I can't tell you who we went and captured, because we're not releasing that yet, but we went after AAA voice talent to record all the voices in the game. For all the characters, the narrator, they're all from the movie industry and from the top AAA gaming industry within the sci-fi realm. When you hear who they are, all the geeks, sci-fi geeks, are going to freak. Okay, when you start the game, every player will get an advisor. My advisor right now is introducing himself to me. His name is Stego. He will keep you apprised of all important things that are going on in the game. This becomes very important in two places. In the beginning, we use him as a tutorial for all new players. So he'll tell you, okay, you need to move your ships and this is how you do it. Towards the middle and end of the game, as your empire has grown tremendously, you might be way over here dealing with something and pirates are attacking a base over here. He'll pop up and say, "Pirates!" Sorry, my voice is going. So he's very important in the game. You're going to meet him in 3D in a few minutes. All right, this is your homeworld. Let's pop out. This is a medium-sized galaxy. I'll have one in a minute though, so I can talk. So this is a medium-sized galaxy. You can go all the way up to huge. Huge actually has 130 plus solar systems in there. And of course, there's parallaxing 3D effects going on to give a real feeling that this is a galaxy. So let's zoom in on our home world. You'll notice that we have a little small fleet, and it is made up of a scout. A scout is used for exploration, has no weaponry. A frigate. A frigate is your first level of defense and attack as far as ships are concerned, but it has no bombardment capabilities. So if you need to bombard a planet, you have to go bigger. Colony ship with unmistakable, that is for colonizing planets. So you get to start off with those three entities. So the first thing I want to do is actually send my frigate over to investigate the two planets that are in my system that I don't know anything about. So I'm moving my scout over there, my frigate over here, and immediately I get to see what those planet makeup is. And just like the original game, the planets have different classifications sizes, mineral capabilities, and gravity. So you've got very small to all the way up to huge in size, which can support different counts of population. You have classifications, and we've introduced a couple of extra. One of them is volcanic. So you have volcanic, toxic, radiated, desert, arid, ocean, tundra, and then I'm going to jump because I've got to keep moving. All the way up to Gaia. You have your resources. You have from very poor all the way up to extremely rich. And there's different differentiations in between. And then the last but not least is gravity. And gravity does play a very big part in that planet and whether or not it's going to work for you. There are some races that can handle low gravity and high gravity, where humans don't do well in that. All right, so this is an okay planet, but for the Sakura who like wet climates, it's not the best. So this is an ocean planet. It's smaller, but I'm going to colonize it.
Wait.
My advisor is letting me know this is a good planet. Don't ignore it. I'm going to colonize this planet. What you're seeing is a colonization video. They are dynamically created. That means they're created in-game and will represent the planet you're landing on, the race you are, the time of day will be different. These will be different way into the game, and they'll be fun to watch, but of course, you can skip them. If I can get my mouse over there quickly, you can skip them if you want. All right, just like the original game, colony management was essential and important in the game. I just colonized this planet, which means I have one population. Now that population doesn't really represent one individual, it's a group of individuals. So I can move him wherever I need. So see my little guy dance? He is one of my workers. I can move him into food generation. I can move him up into research. I can move him back down into production. The original game, that's how it worked. Now they were just little big toggles in the original game. The Sakura are prolific with population, so I'm going to move them up into food because I want to jumpstart my population. I got to give them something to do, so I'm going to tell them to do a farm. And then we're going to say bye-bye. All right, now you're going to meet my advisor.
Tell these brainers what stew they should be brewing.
So my advisor is letting me know, what do you want to do? This is my technology decisions, or the ones that I can choose right now. There are 4 branches. They represent government and diplomacy, sciences, biology and race development, and engineering, which also includes military strength. Let's check the tree out. The tech tree is 75 different tech groups. Each one of those contains multiple technologies. They all accumulate into a single technology, and I'll talk about the reason for that in a minute. Now, go all the way back to the beginning. The technology tree is actually intelligent in that it knows that if I want this guy, I've got to complete this one first. So you can actually go and search for the one you want and know that it'll do the ones in front of it. For example, I want to find terraforming. There it is. This is the one I need for terraforming. I click on it, it knows it's got to do these first. That's what I'm going to choose. All right, now my home world needs work. Now you're starting to see what the old players used to love. My home planet, there it is. There, my home planet has 6 population available to me, and the old players would sit here and go, okay, I want you here, I'm going to shove you up here, no, let's go down here. All throughout the game, they'll keep doing this. Whatever happens, anything that happens, they'll go in and they'll change things. For example, I go to war, I got to get ships. Or maybe I need money. So I'll come in here and I'll pump everybody into production and shove a whole bunch of ships into my production queue. But the new players of today may not enjoy that micromanagement part of it. So what we've done is we've introduced the ability to do auto building. So I turn it on. And then I can actually tell it to do an emphasis. So I come up here and I say, I want you to concentrate on food. That means that it's going to concentrate on food production and food construction. So anything that will benefit food, it will build when it becomes available for me. If I come up here and change it to research, watch what happens to my people. Boom, they all shove up to research. And it will concentrate on research things. Now, I'm going to show you that we've even pulled it up one level higher for the new players. So I'm going to pop out of here.
Wait, big boss. Thinking hurts my noggin.
So he's letting me know the next thing you have to do is hit next turn. See the tutorial portion. All right, I'm going to click on the Empire screen. The Empire screen keeps track of every planet that you've colonized. Right now I'm only on 2 of them, but remember the emphasis? If I click on here, there it is. So from my Empire screen, I can manage all my colonies if I so desire. So I'm going to tell, I want you to do production and I want you to do food because I still want you to grow. If at any time I need to change the emphasis on my whole empire, I can do it here. For example, I just declared war and I need a ton of money. Everybody's on production. Boom. It sets your whole empire into production. You still can override that by going back into the colonies and changing it. So it never sets a rule that can't be undone. So the new players, when they start, may stay at the high level. As they get to know it, they may find that it's fun to manage every single one of my colonies. We've also included morale in the game. Morale is affected by many things. For example, the conditions in which the planet is. If I apply gravity, their morale is going to stink. The morale is right here. So right now I have 89% morale and 100% morale. It's something I think is really cool. This move button. This is the ability for you to do an advanced move. If you use it, you lose your move capability for the next move, next turn. In some instances, that might be really important. For example, I was playing a game in which I had actually moved away from my solar system to go do something, and the Alkari, who I was at war with, came in on me. I tried to get back, but I was just one move behind them, and I didn't want them attacking my defenses. I used this. I was able to jump in front of them and be able to defend my solar system. So I'm going to use it right now and watch.
This bit will put Big Boss thinking.
So, what is going on is that my scout has detected electromagnetic disturbance. I'm going to investigate that electromagnetic disturbance in the next move. The mouse is too sensitive. I apologize.
As soon as you get close to their planet.
That is an independent race. So they were in the original game, and the independent colonies or races don't have any affiliation with the original races in the game. But they are important in the game because they give you quests. If you complete those quests, they start to like you. If they like you a lot, they will actually request to join your empire and become part of your force. They also have another function, which I'll show you in a minute. We'll come back to them.
The anomaly turns out to be a derelict ship, floating eerily empty with no signs of its form.
The anomaly ended up being a ship, and then I retrofitted back into my fleet. All right, so I've got a save game that takes me 89 turns into the future, 89 years. I'm going to load that game. All right, so another feature that I need to explain to you are what we call wormholes or star lanes. The wormholes are pathways to the other solar systems. If you remember in the original game, you could travel anywhere and you could define anything. But one of the biggest complaints about that is that it was so hard to defend. You couldn't defend your system and predict when people were going to come through. So what we've introduced is star lanes into each one of the systems. Now, you still have to worry about defenses. So one thing that we've created are these new little ships called space factories. They build edifices in space. I'm going to send it over to here. and tell it to build something. It can build many, many things. One, for example, it can build a surveillance system. So I can actually send it out in space and build a little surveillance beacon, and it will forewarn me of enemy races coming into my area. I can also create what is called a star base. That is a defensive choke point against all races. If I build a star base, no one can pass by that star base unless they destroy it or through diplomacy request open borders. I'll show you that in a little bit. You can also create asteroid miners, gas harvesters. And one of my favorites, these are pretty wicked by the way, is artificial planet construction. So I'm going to build a star base. And I'm going to load the next game. Actually, I hit the wrong button. Sorry. So, at this point in the game, we are now 129 turns into the game. We've met almost all of the races. Let me show you that. This is called the diplomacy screen. This is where you request audiences with the other races and interact with them and have diplomacy discussions. So I've met all the races in this version, in this save game. So these are holographic projections of them. So let's go meet the Meershans.
What is it, Carl?
So you'll notice that she's not really happy with me. At the beginning of the game, if I were to show you her, she'd go, "Oh, it's nice to see you," and she actually purrs. She's not very happy with me right now, and the reason for that, unbeknownst to you, is that just before this, we were at war. I went in and I kicked her butt real quick, and then I pulled back. And she immediately popped up and said, "Peace, peace." So she's not very happy with me. I'm actually going to show you the diplomacy screen itself. So all the things that I can do with respect to interaction with her are, for example, I can trade resources, I can request alliances, treaties, open borders, research treaty, trade treaties, embassies, share charts, and payments. If I want to be a bad guy and I actually have a better fleet than her and she knows it, I can actually request payments and she will most likely pay. It won't help my relationship with her, but I can be a bully. Yep. I'm going to actually request open borders.
I shall allow it.
And then say goodbye.
Run along now.
No. What was just said is just because you're at peace with them doesn't mean we're friendly. That friendship has to be gained again, and if you really want that friendship, you have to earn it back. And let me show you where that becomes important. The next screen I'm going to show you is the path to victory. This can be pulled up at any time in the game to show you how you're progressing. But in the original game, you had only 2 pathways to victory. You actually have multiple here. One is conquest, no brainer. You destroy all the other races, you win the game. Technology, remember I told you it all came to one technology? If you research all the technologies all the way to the end first, you win the game. Economic. One of the technologies available is an interstellar stock exchange. If you create that stock exchange and then control it, become the leader of the stock exchange, you win the game. Diplomacy. Now this was in the original. Once you've met all the races, a galactic council gets formed. That galactic council then votes on a supreme leader. If you get voted in as the supreme leader, you win the game. This one is very difficult to achieve, and I have not done it, mainly because I don't do diplomacy very well. I'm too ruthless. To be able to be voted in, you actually have to get everyone to either like you or respect you. They may not like you, but just like the Meershans, she respects me right now. She may vote for me. So, the other thing that I told you about was the independent colonies. They get a vote on the council. Every one of them gets a single vote. So as you get them to like you, they vote for you. So if you want to win in this category, which actually in my opinion is one of the most challenging, you've got to get people to like you and work with them and do diplomacy. This last one, called excellence, is an average of all the rest of them. something else that we've introduced. The old players love to play this game for hours and hours and hours. I've heard of one game going almost a week. We still have that in the game. You can play until somebody wins. But we've also put a cap. So at the beginning of the game, you can decide, okay, I'm going to cap it, and it's set at 500 right now. So I can cap it at 500. If no one has won by then, it takes an average across all of them. So right now, if the game were to end right now, I won the game. Yes. Okay. Next thing I want to show you is, in the original game, I told you about some of the players, when they played the game, would keep a spreadsheet next to their computer to keep track of everything that's going on in the game. Every planet they found, and where the races are. We've introduced that here. This screen is called the planet screen. It shows you every planet that you've discovered in the game. You can also flag them if you decide you want to colonize this planet later, so by just flagging it over here. Not every planet has an extra resource, but for example, the independent colonies may come to you and say, I want deuterium. What if you don't have it? If you want to appease them, you may have to go find it. Remember the space factory and the fact that it had an asteroid miner and an outpost miner? You could go mine for it. You don't actually have to colonize it to get that resource. So I could go here and I say, where's deuterium? Have I found it yet? And then you could go to that planet. You'll notice over here there's a couple of windows that show you where that planet is. So it is here in your galaxy, and the planet is here in that solar system. So there's some little hints there. All right, so moving on. Let's show the fleet. Ship design is coming. I'm not going to show it to you because it is not ready. So it will be coming, but in the ship design will be coming later. This is your fleet screen. This is where you can actually scrap your fleets because every ship costs. It's an empire. So every ship you create costs money to build and to upkeep. If you go to war and create a whole bunch of ships and the war ends, you may not be able to maintain that fleet at its current status or its current level. So you have to come in here and actually scrap things and get some of that money back. I guess the last screen that I want to show you is what is called the timeline screen. The old players used to love to make graphs of the things that they've done. We've included it. So you can come in here and say, okay, how have I done with my army? How did I do with my population? How did the Akari do with respect to me? How about the Barathi? Darlox, bingo, bingo. So I can see exactly how I've done across the board. Now, what if I made a bad decision in the game and everything went sour? Let's say it happened right here. And I completely got destroyed. I can actually go back in time and change the decision I made and try again. So if I click here, it is letting me know that I can restore the game at that point, but I lose all progression, all technology, all development, all colonies from there going forward. But, especially for the new players, I can actually change the decision that I made and learn from it. I'm not going to do it right now because I want to show you something else. An independent planet, you'll notice down here, has asked me for something. They're asking for deuterium. I don't have it, otherwise this would say complete the task, so I'd have to go find it. Next turn. I'm not talking on purpose because I wanted you to see what's coming next. Hurry up.
Welcome to GNN.
And now, the stage of the galaxy. The census rankings of Empire population.
So we've included the GNN robots. In fact, originally it was one robot. And that robot was a 2D graphic with words underneath it. That robot was actually very sarcastic and funny at times. We've introduced a female, and they will interact with each other. They are very sarcastic and funny. That was a very simplistic one, but they will pop up and let you know things that are going on in the game, like, oh, the Akari and Mearshans are at it again. They're at war. I wonder who's going to kill each other. Da 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 da. So it's actually fun to watch. All right, I'm moving over to this one. This is a planet that is actually colonized by the Mearshans. I have a fleet there. Now my fleet has a strength, it's only 2 ships, it has a strength of 1952. Her fleet is a strength of 2454. If I attack her, I don't have very good chances. I'm going to go in and attack. Now, you'll notice that we have 2 icons down here. Simulated battle and tactical battles. Sorry, the tactical battles are not done and we're not showing it right now. But we have simulated battles. To be honest with you, I enjoy simulated battles better because I want to get back into the game itself. So I usually only use simulated battles myself. Simulated battles will do exactly that. Just simulate it. It'll be really quick and done. Down here below, you'll notice that I have an unfavorable chance of winning. I don't want to do this just yet. So I'm going to bring this fleet over. Now I'm going to go back in and I'm going to destroy her. It's letting me know that I currently have a treaty with her, a non-aggression treaty. And if I do this, I am pretty much declaring war. I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. As I said, it was simulated. It's done. There will be eventually a way for you to actually cinematically go back and watch that if you so desire, because the battle really does take place in the background. So I'm not going to attack the colony just yet. I'm going to pull back.
You will regret this, you filthy mongrel.
So, see what I mean? She's pretty pissed off. We are going to war with her, as the statement says there. So, that's Master of Orion in a quick 40-minute show.
Thank you very much, Randy.
Can't hear you.
Guys,
There we go.
Do we enjoy that? Fantastic. Randy, I'm going to give these to you. You can give them out to your supporters or the people that, sat down next to you the whole time. Maybe ask you for some questions. I think there's some razor slap bands, hey?
Okay.
Yeah? Razor slap bands.
So, I saw you looking at me the whole time. I'm going to give you one, but I'm actually going to throw some back into there.
Oh, there's one at the back
way
there.
back there.
There we go. Oh, she missed out. It's all right if you hang around. What have we got happening now, Greg?
We're going to go straight from Randy's presentation.
Ciao.
Thank you again. See you later. Straight into the Rocat Challenge. Bye.
Alrighty, so there you go. It's looks fairly interesting. I mean, I've never played Master of Orion, any of the iterations, but I am a huge 4X fan, and this has got me slightly excited. It doesn't look like it's doing anything too outrageous and special, but you can never have too many 4X. And I think for me personally, a lot of the appeal is the flavor surrounding the basic activities that are fairly similar, along all the titles in the genre. But yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on it. So cool stuff, guys. Cool stuff. Anyway, be excellent to each other, and I'll see you next time. Roleplay Gamer out.